Help my toddlers with their tantrums. It's comfort in that moment.
It breaks my heart.
Hello everybody, hope you guys are all doing well and having a great day so far. If you're new to my channel, then make sure you subscribe and hit that like. Today I will be talking about tips I utilize. These are just some tips that I have found that are useful for my children and our personal environment. These are things that I have found that actually just work for our family and our children. These tips may not be useful to your children, but I'm just wanting to recommend what I have tried using because it is just a trial and error learning experience when you have a toddler who is constantly developing and everything is new and there's so many different triggers and you're just trying to figure out the best way to help your toddler through a tantrum. Let's be honest, as parents, having to handle and deal with tantrums are one of the worst things that come with parenthood. Whether it's taking your children to the grocery store or trying to plan something around your child's schedule, you know that if your child has a tantrum, that it's certainly going to interfere with your day's productivity or your day's schedule. I am a mommy of two. I have a 2-year-old daughter named Cora and a 4-year-old daughter named Olivia, and we are currently getting through the terrible twos, and I thought I'd make this video just to kind of help some of you other mommies out there who may be learning as well. I know there's some things that I don't know and I can learn from you, and so if you have any tips throughout this entire video, make sure to comment them below. But I am happy to share what is working for my children today. Olivia, my eldest daughter, she was actually a lot easier to handle when she had a tantrum. She was more or less the baby or toddler that would throw a tantrum whenever she was hungry or whenever she was tired. So hers was obviously just an easy fix. My very first tip would be prevention. And what this means is preventing any environmental factor that could trigger your child's tantrum. For me, I like to make sure that my children don't need a nap before we go and do something, or that they have plenty of water, that they have eaten recently, and that of course they have their favorite toy. Anything that's comforting to them, I make sure that they have it whenever we go somewhere or if we try to do something new. Part of preventing a tantrum for us means making sure that our daughters are well rested and planning events or anything around a nap time and ensuring that they are very well rested before we plan something and go out and do something. For example, if there's a birthday party that's gonna happen at 4 in the afternoon and that's a little late for us, and that's our cranky time because it's not early in the day, but it's not the latest in the day, and the kids around 4 and after that are really trying to wind down in the evening time. And so I would probably make sure to get up early that morning, take the kids out to do some activity outside to kind of get them run down, whether that's going for a walk, taking them to the park, or just taking them to a new spot to trigger their mind, get their mind working, their mind busy, so by the time they come home around 11 or 12, they can take a quick nap, and then I can give them lunch, and then we can really start getting ready to go to our party. So you definitely want to prevent anything that triggers your toddler. Obviously, these triggers are tailored to your little one. For us, it's anything from being on screen time too much, to not having their favorite snack, to not being able to communicate, and things of that matter. Another way to prevent a tantrum, I know for Cora this works excellent, is to give her more say throughout the day. She is just 2 years old, she's a human being just like us, and so I understand that she can get frustrated when she can't communicate because I'm an adult and I get frustrated when communication isn't going well, and so I can understand that she's still learning about life because honestly, I'm still learning about life, and so I can't have expectations of my little one being so perfect and quiet and just the little girl that she is, constantly perfect. And so understanding that really helps with my patience with her. An example of giving her more say throughout the day so she feels like she's a little bit more in control because she's not fully able to communicate as well as she'd probably like. There's a lot of frustration building up for her. And so I like to give her as many options throughout the day, you know, like I can. So I would ask her, do you want rice or pasta for lunch? Would you like the pink cup today or the Minnie Mouse cup? And so these little bits and pieces and those little options for her, she clearly thinks about it and she's like, I'll have this, or I'll have that. And you can just tell the little excitement that she has when she's able to make a choice because she feels like she's in control. And so she doesn't really feel like things are out of hand for her. Because for me as an adult, it's very frustrating when certain things are controlled for me, and I just don't like it. I don't like it, and there's a lot of people out there that they don't like to follow direction. They don't like being told what to do, and I feel little toddlers especially are going through that exact same thing. And so I try to understand as best as I can without getting totally frustrated with her. And so doing that allows me just to be more patient with her, and I can just tell that she's able to have less tantrums throughout the day the more that I do that with her. Now let's get to the actual part where we're handling a tantrum. The tantrum's going full force, your child's screaming, they're crying, they're yelling at you, they're not listening in this moment, and I can fully understand this. Olivia, she used to do the whole back bend thing when she was little and was just like, nope, I'm not dealing with this. You could just tell like she was not having it, and hers were a lot more easy to deal with. Cora, on the other hand, she has the most intense tantrums that I've ever seen in a little child, and honestly, it breaks my heart because it took me so long to try to figure out how can I help her. It is actually very heartbreaking to see your child almost suffer so much to the point where it's almost out of your control. And so, I mean, I've gone online, I've asked mommy groups, like, what can I do to really comfort my child in this moment? Now, Cora's the rager. We call her the baby Hulk, but not in front of her, so her subconscious doesn't pick that up. But we do notice a very anger-like feeling when she has this tantrum, and she just revs up. And you know, there's been moments where she has tried to pull out her hair during a tantrum. She screams, she cries. I've seen her hit the side of cabinets and push over chairs. This is how angry Cora gets, and it's very sad that she has these tantrums, and it's to the point where you can tell like she's overworked her body and she starts breathing heavily and screaming and just the whole 9 yards, the runny nose, everything, and I can't get 2 cents into her during that tantrum time. Here's a small clip of Cora when she's going through a tantrum. This is a moment where I had to decide whether or not I should step in during this time or if I needed to take a break, and I had decided that I needed to take a break and let her kind of handle the tantrum in this moment. And so if your child is having tantrums like this, maybe this is something that I can help you with. My second tip when a child is having a tantrum like this is to get down on their level, to get down on your knees, and so they can see into your eyes. I feel as though this shows my child that I'm ready to listen to her, and I'm noticing that she needs comfort in that moment, and I'm ready to talk when she's ready. After I get on their level, I really like to try to tell Cora to take a deep breath, like, and I continue to make that noise and have her look in my eyes. I say, Cora, please look at mommy in the eyes and follow mommy. And then I will ask her, can I hold you? Can I touch you? And if she says no and she's screaming in that moment, then that's a sign for me that I need to back off and I need to tell her to maybe take a moment for herself to calm down. So then I will proceed to either sit next to her or slowly move into the other room, and so she can have that moment to kind of calm down, and then I kind of talk to her in between her cries to let her know mommy's here when you're ready to come and talk. If you think about somebody who is, and I hate to even relate the two, but somebody that is drunk or on something and you can't get through to that person. Obviously when they're drunk, you cannot get through to a person when they're drunk. But as they sober up, you're able to go and you can sit down and have a rational conversation. For me, having a toddler with a tantrum is very similar. I do not try to have a serious conversation with my children when they are screaming, when they're crying and clearly upset. The only thing I try to do in that moment is let them know that I am there for them. Once my daughter has stopped screaming and crying and throwing a tantrum and she slowly starts to come over to me, I let her come to me. She will usually come up to me and try to ask me to hold her, and then I ask her if I can pick her up and give her a hug, and she usually nods yes, and then I try to rub her back and tell her it's okay to calm down and that it's okay to have such big strong feelings, and I tell her to take a couple big breaths, and then I try to talk to her about what exactly is upsetting her. And then I try to tell her that I understand, and then I try to give her an alternative or explain why things are such the way that they are. For example, if she wants to play with a hot frying pan and obviously I say no, and then she starts throwing a fit because she can't have a hot pan full of hot grease in it, then I have to explain to her that, you know, if you pick up the pan, you're gonna get big ouchies and it's gonna hurt really bad, and mommy loves you so much that I don't want that to happen. And then she kind of understands why I said what I said, and then she starts to realize that maybe that wasn't such a good idea, and then in the future she doesn't have that tantrum that's relative to that problem. Then I absolutely try to make sure that she is comforted and at ease and she feels comfortable with herself again. And then I go through kind of like affirmations with her, and I tell her, you know, mommy loves you, daddy loves you, grandma loves you, grandpa loves you, your sister loves you, and I go through everybody in our family and everybody that she cares about, and I just let her know that she is so loved and it's okay to cry and to have these big feelings, but she's just too precious to have such big feelings, and she should really try to just be happier. And I know she's only 2 years old, but I feel like it's very important to let her know how loved she is, because her just having that frustration and crying and everything, I just know that it takes a toll on your body physically, and it strains your body no matter what age you are. And so I want her to relax as much as possible and just feel at ease. So I think it's very important to reassure her that she is still very loved despite having that tantrum. Now, if your child has a number 10 tantrum, and to me, a number 10 tantrum, we call this when Cora is screaming the top of her lungs and you can't get a word in edgewise. These are the tantrums where mom and dad usually tend to snap, and it's really hard to have patience with these tantrums. These are the tantrums where I let her know, even though she's crying and you really can't speak, I let her know that mommy and daddy are gonna put you in an area for you to calm down, and because we can't communicate with you right now. So go take a moment to yourself, and then once you calm down, then we'll go back to the previous stage, which is talking to her and everything. These number 10 tantrums tend to happen when she simply is just having a tantrum over something that is unreasonable. It's something where she would rather have a certain colored backpack over another backpack, or she would rather wear a certain shirt over another shirt. And these tantrums I really try not to give too much attention to, because I feel like the more I give attention to those kind of tantrums, the more she feels it's okay to act that way. And so when that happens, again, I try to just remove myself from the situation, and then I will come back once she gets done doing the tantrum. And a lot of the times I'll have to come in and check on her and see, oh, she's still throwing a fit. And so I need to give her a couple more minutes, and I even let her know, you know, in a couple more minutes, I'll come back and then maybe we can talk when you're ready. And I think just even at her age, it's so good to just communicate, because I don't want to isolate her and make her feel like she is doing something so horribly bad that I'm gonna stop loving her. But I do want to put her in a position where she kind of thinks about, oh, well, maybe the way I'm acting isn't okay, you know, it doesn't make mommy and daddy happy. And when I do go to sit down with her, I try to explain to her that, you know, when you're screaming and you're crying, it hurts our ears. It hurts our ears really bad when you're screaming and crying, and it makes us so sad that you feel that way, that you feel that you need to scream and cry, when you can actually come and talk to us and let us know what you actually want. And so those are the main things that I do with a tantrum. Tantrums I struggled with my first child at the very beginning, because I was like, I don't know what I'm doing. I feel like I'm failing as a parent. These tantrums keep happening. I feel like I have to isolate myself and my entire family from going out and doing anything, because I just wanted to prevent being out in public, being around people, in case my child would just throw a fit, and then I was just in a position to where I just didn't want the world to see my child's tantrums. But tantrums are 100% normal. Your child is growing and they're soaking in life and the earth around them, and just everything's going on. They're just constantly being stimulated. And so I, as a parent, had to take a step back and realize that she's just a tiny human being, and that's a lot of pressure, a lot of expectations to have on a little 2-year-old, you know, just to be normal all the time, or do what I say, do this and that, and not have them lash out when they don't have any control. And so it does really help to recap that it's very important to do what you can to prevent a tantrum. Don't feel bad when they do happen, because absolutely it's gonna happen no matter how much you prevent, but it may happen a little less than normal. And then you want to make sure that you're communicating, you're giving your kids more opportunities to make decisions throughout the day. And then you want to acknowledge their feelings when they do have a tantrum. You want to give them their space, you want to give them comfort, and you definitely want to show them love. But there are times that you need to separate yourself from the situation, and then bottom line, the key is communication regardless of what happens. And also, this is very important, when you are communicating with your child and they have already calmed down from their tantrum, it's important to not just communicate and let them know that you do understand, but it's also important to provide an alternative way for them to ask for something or to get something, because you don't want them to feel they have to scream and cry and throw things and hit things and harm themselves or even others in order to get what they want. All they simply have to do is listen to the rules, listen to mommy and daddy, take a deep breath, and just come and talk and communicate. And at 2 years old, that's so important. I'm feeling for all you mamas out there that are worried about their child's temper tantrums and you're just so stressed because of it. I've been there, I know what it feels like, and I hope this video was some help to all of you guys. If you guys would like me to do a series on this topic, I'm thinking about doing a video about toddler triggers and what triggers temper tantrums, then go ahead and like this video, and I would be happy to talk to all of you guys about that. But if you enjoyed this video, go ahead and like this video for love. If you haven't already, subscribe to my channel. Sometimes it's crazy, sometimes it's happy, but all in all, we're not in this life alone. We're together. And turn on your post notifications so you guys know when I'm uploading a video. I will be uploading videos Monday through Friday. I hope you guys have a beautiful rest of your day, and I'll be talking to all of you guys soon. Bye.
All my life was a fight. Tell me what's wrong when nothing's ever been right. I was abandoned, alone in the night. There was no darkness cause I'd never seen light. Put the past behind me, if I do fall, I'm gonna get up, defy these odds. I won't give up cause I'm too strong. I said I won't give up cause I'm too strong. Nah.